Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this impromptu live that I had to do to redeem Sunday night. I was talking and showing you guys this video, and I looked up and nothing was recorded. I was like, oh my goodness. So, welcome back. We're going to just do a continuation of yesterday. I was going to get into the Met Gala. If you are unfamiliar with the Met Gala, it is a haute couture fashion fundraiser. Okay, it was began by the fashion publicist Eleanor Lambert, and for the last umpteenth years, hundreds of celebrities come out. They donate millions upon millions of dollars, and it goes to benefit the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. So they have chairs and co-chairs and people that they kind of honor and things during the night. But the most thing that I guess attracts people to it is that they have themes. They have themes that people get dressed up to look like. So this year's was costume art. Okay. But from what everybody has been noticing is that these costumes are not just about art. You know, they kind of reveal certain rituals and different things like that. So I found this video by Truth Is, and I'm going to just play some clips for you all. So let me preface by this before someone gets in my comments going off on me. I did not make this video. It is not my commentary. I'm just going to do a reaction on it. I did not pull it together. So if you want to see the video without my reaction, please go to their channel. I'll drop a link in the description after we're done with this live. But we're going to take a look at this and see what is going on with this Met Gala. Now, this year, I believe the co-chairs of the gala were Beyonce, Venus Williams, and it might be Gwyneth Paltrow. It's one of the, I hate to say it like that. It's one of the, it's one of these women that kind of looks like Gwyneth. I can't remember. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not Gwyneth Paltrow. It's Nicole Kidman. Okay, so they were the co-chairs of the evening, and of course, everybody was, oh my gosh, Beyonce, because apparently she hasn't been there for about 10 years. So again, I'm going to play this video, and I'm going to react to it. So if you don't want that, you're going to have to watch it on your own time. Okay, here we go.
These outfits hold deep esoteric meaning.
Let me throw this on the screen. Actually, I want the little one. Okay, here we go.
These outfits hold deep esoteric meaning that most people would never truly grasp. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why they dress like this and what it truly all means. Let's start with Queen Bee. Beyonce is one of the biggest celebrities in the world. When she showed up to the Met for the first time in years, the entire conversation immediately focused on the strange outfit she chose for the event. Beyonce arrived in a sheer dress with a diamond-encrusted skeleton motif and a matching crystal-embellished headpiece. She was accompanied by Blue Ivy and Jay-Z. According to the Met, Beyonce's look drew inspiration from The Visitor, a 1944 painting by artist Caroline Durex depicting a skeleton standing at a door. To understand the hidden meaning behind this design, we must examine the deeper esoteric language behind the art that inspired it. Caroline operated during a time when artists actively studied Hermetic occult philosophy to unlock hidden realities. Her artwork consistently explored the veil separating the physical realm from the spiritual plane. The Visitor specifically depicts a skeleton standing at a doorway. In many hidden belief systems, a doorway acts as a literal portal to the spiritual world. The door itself in the painting represents the gateway to the other side. A skeleton figure waiting at the door indicates the final transition between the living world and the afterlife. This imagery is deeply rooted in the ancient practice of memento mori. Followers of ancient mysticism actively reflect on the inevitability of death as a core part of their belief system. They use skulls and skeletal representations as focal points for esoteric ceremonies. It connects to the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Focusing on human bones reminds the practitioner that the material world is temporary while the spiritual realm is permanent. By wearing this crystal skeleton, Beyonce was actively channeling these exact esoteric traditions. She positioned herself as the skeleton queen who operates between both realms. Her outfit was a deliberate visual representation of crossing the spiritual veil. It also represents the act of spiritual channeling, where an artist opens themselves up to the other side to draw inspiration from the spiritual forces. This is a concept Beyonce frequently depicts in her performances. She was signaling an awareness of this hidden symbolism and invoking the arcane practices of ancestral communication. The materials used in the dress add another profound layer of meaning. The crystals covering the bones symbolize the secret science of spiritual alchemy. Alchemy focuses on transforming the decaying physical body into an enlightened and eternal state. Beyonce used this gown to visually represent herself as a transcendent being capable of operating within both realms of reality. Even Jay-Z and Blue Ivy's outfits connected to this. Jay-Z wore a black suit and Blue Ivy wore a white dress. This is a direct representation of spiritual duality. In these esoteric traditions, practitioners believe that combining internal opposites produces a divine being. The black and white.
First of all, the first thing I want to say, I'm, I'm going to stop it right there. I don't know why Jay-Z and Beyonce are hell bent on bringing Blue Ivy to these events and having her looking older than she really is. And I understand that Pink's daughter was there as well, and she's the same age as Blue Ivy. But the point being, the Met Gala is supposed to be for 18 and older. But yet we continuously see Blue Ivy flaunting around. She's got her bustier on. She might have tight clothes on. She might have cutoffs on. And she's always there in grown folks' business. Now, from what people are saying is that they think that Beyonce is absolutely grooming Blue Ivy to take her place. They are insinuating that Beyonce is coming to an end. And when I say coming to an end, I don't mean the end of her career. She's going to go sit down and hang out with her children and whatnot. They are thinking that Beyonce is on her way up off this earth. And so Beyonce, so Blue Ivy is going to be the one to replace her. Now I don't know how that's going to be because I don't think Blue Ivy can sing. Not that I think Beyonce is that great of a dancer, but Blue Ivy she's not there yet. So I'm not really sure how long they plan on grooming her up. But again, I don't understand why she's always there. I don't understand why she's always there.
Checkerboard pattern is meant to represent this concept. Black indicates masculinity and white femininity. Beyonce is embodying the merger of these opposites, explaining her silver attire. When you mix black and white, you get gray. Silver is just a metallic elevation of gray. Their coordinated outfit choices depicted Beyonce as a deity who has transcended life and death and operates in a higher realm. But Katy Perry's outfit took these esoteric teachings to a whole new level. She arrived wearing a flowing white custom gown paired with a creepy, ominous mirrored mask. The Met explained her look was a performance art piece about identity and perception. To understand the true inspiration, we must examine the deeper esoteric meaning of this ancient symbol. The most revealing moment happened during her walk up the museum steps. She pulled a specific tarot card from her dress and showed it to the cameras. The card she revealed was the Magician.
Who's going to say it? When are we going to get a surviving Katy Perry? Katy Perry's been on this thing for a while, on this train of foolishness for a long time. If you all recall, when she first got on, they were asking her kind of her earlier on career. They were like, I heard you wanted to be a gospel singer, this and that, because Katy Perry's parents are traveling ministers. And so when she first came up, she had dropped a gospel album. And then she didn't feel like it did well enough for her. And so she came out plain and simple that she sold her soul to the devil. And right after that, she came out with I Kissed a Girl and I liked it. Then she came, she had Dark Horse and she was showing all these symbolisms in her video. I've seen her on stage bring a child up on stage with a box of pizza, asking the child if she wants to be, it was right around the gates of pizza time. So Katy Perry's been on this mess for a long time. And let's not forget the recent allegations that just came out about her, about from the actress Ruby Rose. Now, I don't know who this chick is. I don't know if I've seen any of her movies, but she came out and said that she was bent down tying her shoe or something. And Katy Perry walks up on her and puts her vagina in the girl's face. And she said she didn't want to say anything because Katy Perry bought her a passport. Now, listen, I know times are hard. So and life be lifing, but passports are like $199. And that's if you get it expedited, in 2 weeks. So you mean to tell me you let this lady put her stuff in your face and you didn't say anything all because she bought you a passport? A passport.
Magician is one of the most powerful symbols in esoteric traditions. It represents the manipulation of reality and the hermetic belief of as above, so below. This card connects directly to the esoteric process of man becoming God. In these ancient traditions, this symbol represents mastering duality. Esoteric practitioners interpret the phrase as above, so below to mean as in heaven, so on earth. They believe this concept allows them to manifest their paradise on earth using the power of their will. In these teachings, reality is created from within. It indicates they see themselves as their own savior. By holding this card up for the world to see, she was signaling a deep awareness of these hidden belief systems. She was visually declaring that she shapes the material world using hidden knowledge. We must also look at the six-fingered white glove she had on. The media called this a playful nod to artificial intelligence struggling to generate human hands. The truth gets much deeper. Within ancient esoteric texts, a sixth finger operates as a direct reference to the Nephilim and altered human bloodlines. This traces back to how the Bible describes the Nephilim bloodline, depicting descendants of giants who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. In esoteric traditions, the Nephilim are considered hybrids. The extra digit is often viewed as a physical anomaly or a mark of their mixed, non-human DNA.
Not only that, but remember, a lot of cultures believe that the Nephilim gave mankind knowledge that we weren't supposed to have. They taught us how to make weapons for war. They gave us makeup, fire, different things like that. And obviously, we've used it for evil. We've used it for things that we should not have been using it for. And like they said, the giants were supposedly had 6 fingers, 6 toes. So, and again, I think she also had another song about aliens. I can't remember how it goes, but yeah, she definitely had a song back in the day about aliens.
Presenting this physical trait was meant to signify an elevated status far above the average person. The most important piece of the entire outfit remains the mirrored mask. The designer stated that the mask invites observers to consider how their perception mirrors their internal world. This ties directly back to the Magician Tarot card. Practitioners of this esoteric system believe that reality is a reflection of the self, and that you can create your reality when you master duality. Mirrors function as a literal looking glass used to communicate with the other side. Practitioners use them as a tool for scrying, a method used to peer through the veil into the spiritual realm. This connects directly back to the theme we just established with Beyoncé. Both women utilize their red carpet looks to represent a literal threshold between the living world and the unknown. They are showing us the process of how they created their reality using these esoteric concepts. Katy Perry and Beyoncé's outfits depict the exact same hermetic principle of mastering the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Bad Bunny's outfit follows this exact same pattern. Bad Bunny showed up to the Met this year 50 years in the future. He underwent a massive transformation, arriving on the red carpet entirely unrecognizable as an 85-year-old version of himself. He wore a custom black suit and utilized hyper-realistic facial prosthetics, silver hair, and a walking cane to complete the look. The official narrative from the Met states that this look was a direct response to a section of their exhibit focused on the aging body. The institution claimed the fashion industry traditionally ignores the aged body out of fear of facing mortality. To find the true hidden meaning behind this transformation, we must connect it back to the exact esoteric themes established by Beyoncé and Katy Perry. Intentionally aging the physical body is a profound symbolic act within ancient mysticism. Bad Bunny was visually depicting the final stage of the human vessel right before death. In these
I honestly have never heard of that before. Sorry to pause it in a weird spot. I've never heard of this particular esoteric teaching. Have y'all heard of it?
These hidden
I
belief
don't know anything
systems,
about it.
presenting yourself at the end of your life cycle is a reflection of the eventual demise of the physical form. It is the final step before crossing the threshold into the spiritual realm that we saw represented by the skeleton outfit and the mirrored mask. This specific imagery is a recurring theme among the elite. We saw this exact same esoteric concept utilized by The Weeknd during his Gasoline music video. He also used heavy prosthetics to appear as an elderly man just like Bad Bunny. Cardi
Like I said, I don't really know. I would have to. I gotta find a way to find that information. I don't really understand what that would benefit them. As far as an esoteric teaching, now we know that Weekend has gotten himself into some dark things. He sold out a long time ago, but I don't watch his videos and stuff like that to know that that's what he did in his videos. So that's kind of weird. But yeah, Cardi
B arrived in a massive black gown, looking like a
her
melting
this
gumdrop.
just looks so nasty. It looks so disgusting. I've heard it say that it looks like intestines or chitlins. I don't really know. Honestly, he's about to talk about how it represents like a deformed body. To me, it's just like Cardi B herself is a botched body. I mean, as whether you think it looks good or whatever, she, she's gotten a lot of surgery done. And to me, this just looks like some of the videos that I've been seeing lately of people being botched, whether it's BBL or tummy tucks and all kinds of stuff. And then they cut to me. This is kind of what she's trying to represent. It does look like keloids. It looks disgusting.
The design was intended to resemble an abstract human form. In Hermetic texts,
I don't
this
know if she's
heavily
poking fun at
distorted
herself or
silhouette
what.
represents the breakdown of the natural human shape. It mirrors the chaotic, formless entities found beyond the spiritual veil. She was visually depicting the loss of human identity required to enter those hidden circles. Then we have theater producer Jordan Roth. He brought an equally disturbing concept to life with his outfit. He arrived wearing a gray velvet gown with a large sculpted shadow figure physically emerging from his back. This design perfectly illustrates the esoteric concept of the shadow self. In these hidden traditions, a shadow figure physically attaching to a person represents an alter ego or a summoned entity. It is a literal depiction of a practitioner carrying a spiritual guide from the other side, connecting right back to Beyoncé's outfit. Naomi Osaka provided one of the most eerie looks of the entire evening. She stepped onto the carpet in a dark sculpted gown covered in strange red spots, complete with sharp red fingernails. Her hands were intentionally painted to appear submerged in red liquid. The hidden symbolism here is undeniable.
I had my face scrunched so hard during this thing that I don't want to say it, but my head, I'm like, that's just disgusting. Hey, Freddie B, how's it going? I hope your week as well. I hope your week as well. Let me put this back on. Yeah, so that's what I see. Yeah, it does kind of look like keloids. It really just looks disgusting. But to me, like I said, Cardi B is just kind of looking like that right now. And I don't know if I don't know if she's mocking herself, but it's almost ironic that people know that their bodies can end up looking like that, and they still go out and get it done. It's just crazy. So they're offering their children up. They're absolutely offering their children up. Um, and it's weird because I don't know. I've obviously listened to a lot of testimony, especially of people that are in satanic ritual abuse and stuff like that. And even at a young age, they know what's up. Like they know that they're going to rituals. They know that they're having to participate in a particular way. They start to learn the symbols and things like that. And I'm like, does she know? Does she know what she's being used for? Does she know that she's being offered up? I'm definitely wondering. Definitely wondering. Says Beyonce's skeleton dress is rumored to be a Creole designer that depicted a skeleton drawing that means death. Yeah, I did find that. Let me see. I think I got it. Oh no, I clicked off of it. But yeah, she is. She's a lady. She's an older white lady. She's from New Orleans. And so it's not surprising that she might know about that kind of stuff or be into that kind of stuff. But there wasn't really too much about her, like about her beliefs and stuff like that to bring to the table. But yeah, she did have some weird drawings from what I saw. Let me see if I can pull some of this up. Her name is Caroline Giroux. I don't know if that might be how you pronounce it, but look at some of her. Let me put this on the screen. So these are some of her. This is her right here. Dang, somebody already made an article about it, that her thing was inspired by that. Okay, yesterday when I looked at it, it didn't have all these Beyonce pictures, which is weird. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Mother and child. It doesn't look like it's by her. But yeah, she definitely has a lot of skeleton type art. She's got a lot of Africans in her paintings as well. There was one that was on the front page yesterday. I don't know where it's gone, but he had like a big head, big lips. I don't know what that was about. Yeah, it seems like they've kind of switched up what they put on this page. But yeah, she's got some weird stuff. Oh, there he goes. I don't know what that's supposed to be about, but yeah, not too much information on her, unfortunately, to dig in her business. But they were trying to say, so I looked into this whole Memento Mori that her dress is supposed to be based off of. And it says an artistic symbol or trope acting as a reminder of the inevitability of death. The concept has its roots in philosophers of classical antiquity and Christianity. I hate when they try to put, just because something sounds like it's from Christianity, they always put that name on it. And yeah, the Bible definitely talks about how we are, our life is vanity, and we're supposed to understand that and know that. But the concepts that are spoken of in this Monto Mori thing, I don't think that it really depicts. I really don't think it depicts Christianity at all. But like I said, if they see one word alike, they always try to liken it to. This is what they say. The thought was then utilized. Oh wait, let me go up some more. I'll put this on the screen so you don't just see me reading. Stop screen. Okay, so Memento Mori. So the philosopher Democritus. Now, this is Democritus. If you've seen my video, Adam is Adam isn't in Baal. I talk about Democritus in that he's actually one of the ones that has an influence on why we are taught that atoms created everything. And it all goes back to they feel like if they know it really, I mean, you gotta watch it, but if they know the measurements of like the stars, the planets, where things are in the universe, how far away they are from one another, it's just really weird. But they feel like if they know that type of information, then they can predict the future. Um, so yeah. So, anyways, he trained himself by going into solitude and frequenting tombs. See, these people love the dead. Plato's Phaedo, where the death of Socrates is recounted, introduces the idea that proper practice of philosophy is about nothing else but dying and being dead. The Stoics of classical antiquity were particularly prominent in their use of this discipline, and Seneca's letters are full of injunctions to meditate on death. See, like God is never like you need to meditate on death. He never says we need to meditate on death. Um, okay, so blah blah blah. Several passages in the Old Testament urge a remembrance of death. In Genesis 3:19, it is written, "By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you are taken. You are dust, and to dust you shall return." It's like, okay. Psalms 90. Moses prays that God would teach his people to number our days, that we may get a heart of wisdom. Ecclesiastes, the preacher insists that it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for this is the end of all mankind, and the living will lay it to heart. See, like to me, this is not a, if you've ever read these scriptures, they're not a focus on death. It's just saying like there's a time for everything. They say the thought is utilized in Christianity, whose strong emphasis on divine judgment, heaven, hell, and salvation of the soul brought death to the forefront of consciousness. Um, I guess. So, anyways, that's Memento Mori. But yeah, these people love skeletons and things like that. Katy Perry used her ex-boyfriend from Gumtown Heroes to drugs. He's also linked to Tyga, which is his cousin. It's crazy. So I looked up Gumtown Heroes 'cause I've never heard of them before. And then Higglytown Heroes came up. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know who Gumtown Heroes is. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, Katy Perry is she's a she's a hot mess. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do an expose on her. Because she definitely has something weird with her. But yeah, so that was the Met Gala. Oh, I lied. I'm not done. I don't know. I mean, he didn't put this in there, but Madonna was there. Madonna was at the Met Gala. And I think I saved something that was about her. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Like I said, Madonna is she's the witchiest of the witches. She's like an old school Taylor Swift. And I haven't seen this. I didn't watch this clip. I just saw that it was about her, and then I saved it. So let's watch this together. Okay, share it. Sorry, my screen's a little stuck. Oh, what's going on? Oh, you don't want me to show them Madonna? Oh, come on. It crashed my computer again. What is going on? What is going on? I've never seen so many crashes. Oh, God. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me. But, oh, God. Hmm. Crashed it again. It's crashed it again. I don't know what's going on. Apparently, I'm not supposed to. No, I'm not gonna say that. Let me see if it'll let me do it. If not, then that's pretty much what I had for you this evening. I just wanted to show you guys what was going on at the Met Gala. Okay. I'll try it one time and see what happens. All right now.
That the Met Gala was just a star-studded moment? Wake up. It wasn't fashion. It was a demonstration of power by a high priestess of the dark. That outfit isn't just fabric. It's a ritualistic vestment designed to channel ancestral energies before a global audience that, without knowing it, becomes part of the sacrifice. Look closely at the sect surrounding her. Those followers aren't there by chance. They are the guardians of her influence, part of an energy harvesting ritual where she acts as the magnet and the public as the fuel. The elite use this event to reaffirm their control, mocking the masses with satanic symbolism so blatant they don't even bother hiding it anymore. While everyone applauds, she strengthens her position, reminding her masters that their agenda is still in full effect. How long will we remain accomplices to this macabre theater while they normalize their control right before our very eyes? Comment book to learn more about the satanic agenda.
Okay. No thanks. Okay, so that's Madonna. I was trying to get a close up of what was on her hat. I still can't really make it out. It looks kind of like some horsemen or something like that on the front. And then, of course, she's got a star on the side. But again, Madonna is an old school witch. So they claim that her particular outfit was depicting the temptation of Saint Anthony and that she was the devil in the picture. So the temptation of Saint Anthony is a painting. And it says the common medieval subject. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so apparently the picture shows Saint Anthony, which I don't know. I don't even know who that is. You know, they have so many saints. Let's find out who Saint Anthony is. Let's find out who this joker is. Okay, so this is Saint Anthony. He's a Portuguese Catholic priest of the member of the Order of Friars Minor. What is that? I feel like I've heard that before, but let's see. The Order of Friars Minor is a mendicant. What does that mean? Oh, okay, so they have vowed, these are male members, they vow a lifestyle of poverty, traveling, and living in urban areas for purposes of preaching, evangelization, ministry, especially to less wealthy people. Okay, so it was founded in 1209 by Francis of Assisi. The order adheres to the teachings and spiritual disciplines of the founder, of his main associates and followers, such as Clare of Assisi, Anthony of Padua, and Elizabeth of Hungary, among others. Okay, so why would they be developing an order after this guy? I don't even, okay, it was an Italian mystic, poet, and Catholic friar who founded the religious order of the Franciscans. This is a lot. Okay, it's inspired to lead a Christian life of poverty. He became a beggar and an inerrant preacher. One of the most venerated figures in Christianity. No, it's in Catholicism. Was canonized by Pope Gregory. Okay. But why did y'all make him a saint though? That's what I want to know. Okay, so I'm guessing the reason why he's made a saint is because It says, in this account, Francis was selling cloth and velvet in the marketplace on behalf of his father when a beggar came to him and asked for alms. At the end of the business deal, Francis abandoned his wares and ran after the beggar. When he found him, Francis gave the man everything he had in his purse. Francis' friends mocked him for his charity while his father scolded him in rage. So from what I understand is that they will make, if they find out somebody did something good, like a good Samaritan in some kind of way, they make them a saint. And so I'm assuming this is why they made him one. Okay, so there's a whole order built after him, and this is what they do. They make themselves poor, and then they go out and preach to the poor. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay. So now back to the temptation. So it says that it shows that Saint Anthony being attempted and assailed in the desert by demons whose temptation he resisted. Okay, so so I guess that's what. Well, I don't see how that means that she was depicting Satan though, because y'all seen the pictures. This is her. I don't know who these young ladies are supposed to be holding her veil or her whatever. And again, I was trying to get up close on this doggone symbol on her head, but this definitely looks crazy. You see that? It looks like I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Okay, so the earliest work to depict Saint Anthony being assaulted by demons is a wall painting in the atrium of Santa Maria Antiqua in the 10th century. So I wouldn't even if she's I don't know if they're saying that she's supposed to be Saint Anthony. I mean, because if she's Saint Anthony, then I would assume that those women around her are the demons. I mean, just based on what the picture looks like, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if that's true. What they say she's supposed to be depicting. But that's the Met Gala, y'all, for this year. I don't know what they're gonna do. So the very first one was the World of Balenciaga, and we kind of see where they've headed these days. One year they had in May 2018, they had a theme called Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination. Yeah, so I'm seeing this guy. This is kind of off. But this guy, Coleman Domingo, he was one of the chairs. He was one of the co-chairs for last year's event. It was their theme was called Superfine Tailoring Black Style, and the co-chairs were Anna Winter, Pharrell Williams, ASAP Rocky, Lewis Hamilton, and Coleman Domingo. So this is actually the guy. Have y'all seen the new Michael movie? He's the one that plays Joe Jackson, this guy right here. And to be honest, I never really even heard of him before. But now I'm seeing him pop up everywhere. And then just to find out that he was one of the co-chairs one year. Yeah, I don't know this guy. He's got a lot of nominations, Golden Globes, Critic Choice Awards, BAFTA Awards, Academy Awards. Like, okay, he's doing it in their world. Oh, he's gay. He's definitely going to get some traction. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of him, but again, he's kind of just popping up on the scene these days for me. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. I was actually trying to look up how they become honorary chairs and things like that. I mean, do you have to donate a certain amount of money or what? And guys, these ticket prices, I mean, listen, these people got money. So it is what it is. But this year's ticket price is $100,000 a ticket. Just to get some recognition. Would y'all pay that much money if you were millionaires like this, right? If you were millionaires and billionaires, maybe you are. Would you pay $100,000 for a ticket? The last 2 years was $75,000. The year before that 50, 35,000 before that. So it's gone up, y'all. It has gone up since its inception. When it first started March 21st, 1973, the tickets were $85. And now they're $100,000. Would y'all pay for that even if you had the money? I just can't see it. I just can't see it. And I've kind of noticed the people that go to these things. I was looking. I've been, I wonder, I guess I'm in my thoughts of, have I ever seen people like Matthew McConaughey there, or the ones that profess Christ? Let me see. Matthew, I'm kind of just on a tangent right now. Have you ever seen people that profess Christ there? Does he go to the Met Gala? No pictures of him at the Met Gala. Because the first person I thought of was like Mariah. I was like, I have never heard of Mariah going to the Met Gala, but maybe she's gone. Has she gone to the Met Gala? She's never gone to the Met Gala. So I don't know. It kind of just got me thinking. I mean, there has been people that haven't gone that we know for sure are on the list, and you know what list I'm talking about. We always talk about the list, but like Ellen DeGeneres, she's never been. Meryl Streep, you know. So maybe it doesn't mean anything, but I don't know. I'm just thinking. I mean, well, that was really it. I was just trying to finish off my thoughts from yesterday. Um, I really didn't have too much to add besides that, unless you guys have something. I do have videos coming out. I probably have 2 this week if I can get them worked on. I have 2 coming out, and I'll definitely be adding some shorts. There's a big thing. There's a big thing going on right now. Everybody's trying to. The Ethiopian. What am I trying to say? The Ethiopian Bible is being talked about a lot right now. I don't know if that's on your timeline. If you guys know about that, But what's going on is that the Ethiopian Bible it's supposed to have all the books, even all the apocrypha, all the lost books. It's supposed to have all the books that were ever to exist, which a lot of people believe that, a lot were taken out of the Bible, which I can't say that I necessarily follow that line. What's going on? Hey, Dan Patrick, how's it going? Yeah, definitely not necessarily saying that I follow that line of reasoning, but it's really, really heavy in this social media streets right now. Even to the point where this girl I work with, she didn't get the Ethiopian Bible, but her and her husband ordered the Apocrypha. But it's not the one that we've always heard about, where there's just a few books. I want to say this one has about 121 lost books in it. And I was like, okay, girl, you definitely let me know what you find in it because I'm curious. But it's so easy to get turned every which way. How interested are you all in the lost books? I think I had it on my topic list to talk about, but it's absolutely going to be how it differs from the word, from the Bible. To me, I just think it's really dangerous right now, especially if you don't already have the word in you, or you really don't have your beliefs down and just solid, you're standing on them, because you can get turned every which way. You can definitely get turned every which way. But one meme that I saw said, and this is kind of what I touched on a little bit ago, a little earlier, where it says the Ethiopian Bible Book of Enoch proves makeup was introduced by demons. In the Book of Enoch 8:1, it clearly states that makeup such as eyeliners, beautifying eyelids, and more were introduced to the world by the evil fallen angels. So a lot of people are definitely going to be interested in this because they think it's going to tell them something other than Jesus is God, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. You said nothing much, just chilling as always, just seeing people becoming weary of the rat sickness called hantavirus. Yeah. I was talking about that earlier, and I was watching a video today about how they're letting the people off the ship. And if I'm not mistaken, aren't they letting them off in California? Ship. Let's see if I can find evacuated. Evacuated. Let's see. Yeah, they were saying that a lot of people a lot more people were being tested and showing that they had it. And there was a North Carolinian resident among those evacuated from the ship. And again, and like I asked yesterday, evacuated and then taken where? Let me see if I really don't want to agree to your terms of service. I just want to read the article. Let's see. It says all the passengers of the MV Hondius and some of its crew have been evacuated from the hantavirus hit cruise ship as authorities continue to test people and monitor symptoms of the rare virus that has triggered an international health response. Okay, so they're being ferried from where it's anchored at, which is Port Granadilla near Spanish island of Tenerife. I don't know how to pronounce these words, y'all, so forgive me. To the island on Sunday after the ship arrived earlier in the day carrying 147 people. Evacuations involved 94 passengers, of 19 nationalities. Okay, does that mean that you took them from 19 nations, or they all came from one place and they just happened to be of 19 nationalities? What was the point of you putting that in there for? I need to know. Okay, so yeah, they were at sea for more than 5 weeks. A total number of 122 individuals. They went back to their home countries, in the Netherlands included 35 members and 87 guests. So yeah, they're dropping them off it looks like they're dropping them off in quite a few places, y'all. But again, okay, so now I have another question. How long does it take? How long to test a strand of hantavirus? Because again, they tested this pretty quick for them to let us know that it was the Andes strain of hantavirus. Because remember, that's the only strain that can be passed from person to person. Every other strain can only be transferred from rats to people. So, oh, you're so funny. He said, since the hantavirus is known, I bet the song "Ben" by Michael Jackson is sounding differently now, right? I know, right? That used to be the jam. I mean, he just sang it so beautifully, but yeah. If y'all not familiar, Ben was a story about a guy. I guess he had befriended these rats, and I want to say I didn't get to. It's been so long since I've seen the movie, but somehow, some way, I think they were living in a place, and the landlord or whatever wanted to exterminate the rats, and so he pretty much sicked the rats on the guy, and yeah, it's just a big mess. But that's hilarious. He sang the mess out of that song. You said they destroyed that man's legacy, but they had to. If he would have made the purchase he was looking into purchasing, he'd have too much power. Yeah, for sure. Definitely got to do a truth before dying about Michael, but they absolutely had to. I'm not had to, but I understand what you're saying. Because he had come too big, he had become too big. He had way too much money buying up their publishing and records and stuff. Yeah, they weren't going to have that. They were definitely not going to have that. And then he started talking out about them as well. You know, he was having conferences, conferences about him and telling business. So, sad situation for sure. For sure. Okay. That's not what I want to know. I want to know how fast they can test this virus. Because I want to know how fast they came up with this information. Because if it takes, let's just say that it takes, a couple weeks to test this virus, then how are they going to be able to tell us that it's the Andes strain? And if they can't do that, if it takes way too long than the time frame that we're given right now, then there's absolutely no way that we can know. And it's something amiss. And a lot of people believe that they're just doing this to cause another, pandemic. Like I said, dropping these people off from different countries and different things like that. You said he was in debt before he died for like 500 million. Really? $500 million? It's rumored he was accruing debt at $30 million a month because he died. Since his debut, his estate has made over $2 billion. He was worth more gone. Really? He must have been mismanaging. If he had $500 million in debt after all the money that I'm pretty sure he accumulated over his whole life. But then again, just like the movie, he was buying monkeys and horses and all kinds of stuff. So, and that big old amusement park and all that, I wouldn't be surprised, but that's sad. That's definitely sad. He said they all are, yeah. Many voices have coming saying all the accusations were false. Oh, have come out. I definitely seen that, but I also saw this one family that came out not too long ago. And I hate to say it, I don't know how real the pictures are, but the pictures did look a bit suspect to me. Now, I'm not one of the ones that think that he did this in any way. I hope not. I really, really hope not. Now, man might have sold his soul. He might have been on some Aleister Crowley teachings. I don't know. Just because of the album cover that he had and all that kind of stuff. But I really do hope that he wasn't on that type of time. I mean, but they've been saying that for a long time. All the kids that used to hang with Macaulay Culkin, or even what's the young man that just passed away not too long ago? Backstreet Boys' brother. His name, I want to call him Andrew, but I don't think that's his name. But y'all know, I think y'all know who I'm talking about. He was coming out against it and all that kind of stuff. So, I can't think of that family. I would show y'all the pictures, but I cannot think of that family right now. Let me see if I can try to bring it up. And I was kind of wondering myself, like, why were they hanging out with him so much? Who were these people to Michael Jackson that they were hanging out? Okay, so I just got to Casio siblings. Casio's family. Michael Jackson. Okay, y'all. Let me show y'all these. And I'm just being honest. I'm just gonna say they were close. They definitely looked like they were close. Okay, so this is the so-called family that has come out most recently. Now they're saying Michael Jackson's second family and all that kind of stuff, but he was always with them. I don't know how they met, why they met. These were the ones I was like, it looked along, like, don't necessarily care for that too much. You know what I mean? Like, who are these people? But here's my thing. If these kids are little in some of these pictures, and then they're definitely a lot older in other pictures. So if he was supposedly doing this to your children, Why would you allow him to grow up with, to be with them even as they're growing up? That doesn't make any sense. Unless you're once again selling your kids off. And that could just be, look, he's all kind of hooked up on this guy, Maybe that's just the way that he holds on to people. I don't know. Like this looks innocent. I wouldn't think anything about that. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? He said, my mom grew up in a time that she met him and said she thinks it was all BS because the power he was going to have if he followed through with the things he wanted to do. Yeah, like I said, I really hope so. People always talk about how childlike he still was. He kind of just wanted to, he's always being a prankster and joking around and this and that. So he probably knew what type of time a lot of adults are on, even not even in that aspect, but just he probably just didn't want to be around a whole bunch of drama and foolishness. Maybe he kicked it with, I don't know. I don't want to speak for the man. I'm just trying to. There's a documentary where 3 of the child stars claim Michael was the only one to protect them. Yeah, when all the weird stuff people high up at agencies did things to kids. Yeah, exactly. I did hear that as well. Yeah. And these are people, and the again, going back to like the Macaulay Culkins and things like that, these are people that they had no problem speaking out against other people. I mean, Macaulay Culkin is the one that told us that they're wearing the little girl's skin from the Poltergeist for shoes, and told you exactly who the executives were who were in the Red Shoe Club. Why can't I remember that young man's name? Who has the brother from the Backstreet Boys? Nick Carter. What is his name? Last name is Carter, but he was outing people as well, dropping names. He could have named Michael Jackson if he wanted to. So you said this may be off topic, but just imagine Michael Jackson's brother was in a fight and he'll say, mm-mm. That's funny. Aaron Carter, thank you. Why would I wanted to name him every name that began with an A except for Aaron. Aaron Carter, he was talking out a lot before he passed away. So he said, imagine the money. Hold on. Imagine the money that would be paid even if stuff was false to not tarnish one's reputation. All the alleged people have an incentive to lie. Yeah, because wasn't he paying out settlements? I'm pretty sure he was paying out settlements. And I don't know how much, but yeah. Just to be able to go back to his life and work on his music and things like that. But that's exactly what they do. They will definitely destroy you. Oh my goodness. Hold on, y'all. I just found this article. I don't know if I want to read this. Hold on. Let me get to the point. Okay, because I was wondering. Remember, I was just asking questions. It says, okay, so the Casillos were first introduced to Jackson during the 1980s when their father, Dominic Sr., worked as a hotel manager where Jackson was a frequent guest. When you have the biggest superstar in the world in the 80s that wants to be your friend, you're vulnerable and easily manipulated. Okay. As the family grew closer to Jackson, each of the siblings claimed they were molested by Jackson on different occasions. Edward says he was abused for the longest period out of all his siblings, off and on for over 16 years, claiming that Jackson acted inappropriately towards him during the 1993 Dangerous tour. We were on tour. That's when Michael started to get closer and started rubbing on my legs. I was sitting on his lap, and that's when the first kiss happened. Hell no. Where he kissed me on the lips. Ugh, that's gross. After the incident, he said that Jackson would molest him almost every night. The alleged abuse escalated over the years, including hell no. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I try to keep it clean on this channel, but goodness gracious, including oral and penetrative sex. My goodness. Meanwhile, Marie Nicole claims that Jackson would often ask her to undress before masturbating in front of her, adding that he had a secret code to signal the encounters, where Aldo said the first singer first molested him while they were lying in bed together. Listen, I don't know if you guys grew up in a big family. I don't know how your cousins and all that kind of stuff get down, but if this were true, right? And to have a big old family, like, oh yeah, I'm sure they had a big family too. They had a nice, there's a couple people. He would have had to get jumped. You know what I mean? Like and again, 16 years. 16 years. Why didn't y'all put hands and feet on this man? I know they said Michael Jackson had hands. Don't get me wrong, but y'all could have all tried to get you a piece. If it was true. Dominic alleged that Jackson would make him play sexualized games. Y'all get this, including one called Booty Rumble, while also drinking his urine. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm gonna put that article down. I gotta put that. Oh my goodness. He gave me Xanax and Vicodin at 11 years old and told me I'd be floating and I would love it. Marie Nicole claimed during the interview, while the brothers said that Jackson would use the code names such as Jesus Juice and Disney Juice to refer to alcoholic drinks. Oh gosh, way too much. It's just way too much. I really wish I did. I really wish I didn't see that. Oh my goodness. Okay. We never get the real story on all the stories. There's always more to what is told. Yeah. Unfortunately. A red balloon symbolism is symbolism for SCX with young boys. Guess how many songs and movies there are with red balloons and about red balloons. I remember lives ago. This has been a few lives, and somebody told me to do red balloon symbolism, and I put it in my notes. It's literally on my checklist. I'll just be on the record saying I had no idea that that's what I would be researching. That's what red balloon symbolism is supposed to be about? Heck no. Okay. How I have so many questions. And I'm so ashamed of where we are in the conversation right now. How many? Oh, I don't know. I don't even want to know. It's the over 1,700? Goodness gracious. A lawyer once told me you don't have to tell the truth, you just have to be believable. That's a shame. That's a shame. Yes, exactly. You said, wait, what? Booty Rumble? Exactly. I don't know where. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. You said, well, Michael Jackson was a hidden character in Ready to Rumble video game. You might be gross. I don't know. I do not know. You said it's disgusting. Yeah, it absolutely is. And again, I'm laughing because this is uncomfortable and disgusting, not because it's funny. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You know, what is the world? What has the world come to? What has it come to? And speaking of red balloon and symbolisms and things, I had came across this I guess on Instagram, a reel, and it was about black goo. Now this is totally off the subject, right? But I guess I'm just trying to think of it just came to my mind because I was thinking of symbolisms and stuff like that and things being shown in music videos. And apparently, have y'all heard about this black goo? I'm gonna do I don't know if it's gonna be a short video or a long video, just depends on what I find with it. But apparently there's been a lot of artists who have been depicting this black goo in their videos, like Billie Eilish, Justin Timberlake, Lady Gaga, amongst others. And so, let me see if I can find that video real quick, just to give us a little sneak peek. Oh, there you go. Oh, no, that was same lady, but different subject. Hold on. Now that I see her face, I'll be able to find her video easily. I was like, black goo. There it goes. And I actually wonder if it has anything to do with that black goo that the super soldier had been talking about before they killed him, Max Spears. Okay, y'all, let me show you this.
Intercessors said, I am discerning that this region is dealing with mind-numbing black goo. And what he saw is he saw squid and octopus mounted to the doorways of churches, releasing black goo. And so when people would come in to the churches, they would get covered in black goo and traipse it all over the place. Well, that was significant to me because right at that time, I happened to be reading John Eckhart's book on marine demons. And listen to what he writes. He says, squid and octopus spirits are mind-binding and mind-controlling spirits that have tentacles wrapped around the minds of people, hindering them from thinking clearly. These spirits cause much confusion and keep people from seeing the truth. These are powerful spirits that often require fasting to break. Well, another one of the intercessors, she saw a water spout over an area that I'll just call Turtle Cove. Now, Turtle Cove was slated to be this massive development. It's going to have a resort, businesses, and housing. And the debris coming off of that water spout that she saw in the spirit were squid and octopus. Well, I happened to be doing the spiritual mapping research at that time, and I was looking into Turtle Cove, and I found a video rendition of what it's going to look like when they're finished. And it was like on a bay of a lake, and it had an island with this huge waterfall, and behind the waterfall was this jumbotron screen. And they were running a video, and the video was featuring squid and octopus. So I'm like, okay, Lord, you are definitely drawing our attention to this location. The land of Turtle Cove was filled with corruption and fraud. So back in the 80s, there was a large real estate developer who was responsible in part for the housing crash of 87. He was developing land near Turtle Cove, and he went to prison along with 5 others because of the fraud that they had committed. So there was broken contracts, broken deals, corruption on this land. Well, the current deal of Turtle Cove, that was established by the economic development director of Lakeshore, and it was fraught with corruption. I mean, it was this massive pay-to-play scheme, and he actually ended up leaving the state because of lawsuits against him. And so in preparing for this trip to go to Lakeshore, the Lord drew my attention to the water god Rahab. Now, this is not the Rahab of Jericho, the prostitute. This is Rahab, the water god. One of the intercessors said, I am discerning.
Okay. So I don't know, black goo, water goddess. And then she goes, I don't know if it's the same segment, but then she goes on to talk about the um, Starbucks logo. And of course, I'm pretty sure we've all know what that's about. It's literally a water spirit. Um, it looks kind of like an octopus. It's got a lot of tentacles and things like that, and pretty much just kind of spells that are cast from Starbucks, which I'm actually glad that I'm seeing a downturn in people even going to Starbucks. Because remember we talked about how there was one literally they would build Starbucks right across from each other, and now I can drive by Starbucks and hardly anybody's in the parking lot. Whereas before, that mess would be around the corner, lines and lines of people. And I don't think that they're waking up to the fact that it's a water spirit or anything like that. I guess I'm just saying it's good to see that it's getting its time. Everybody's getting away from these demonic things. Billie Eilish, the spawn of Satan. You know, I don't know. Is she? I mean, I know that she has like some very dark music. I don't listen to her, so I don't know her lyrics or anything like that. I guess I'll have to delve into it and do like a little lyric short or whatever, but that's hilarious. You said I broke down the symbolism in her song where she's depicted as a fallen angel. It's one of the most satanic music videos to come out. Whoa, since 2018 or 2020, really? What song is that? Yeah, I found the video that they were talking about her and the black goo. I haven't watched it. Um, so I'm pretty curious to see what is actually going on with that. And again, I'm not surprised about Justin Timberlake because again, remember he's the writer of Love, Sex, and Magic, so I know he knows about magic. I know he know about magic. There's a lot of lore with the Marine Kingdom. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I'm actually glad a lot of people know about it so that the information is out there because that's something I never would have even thought of before. I probably learned about the Marine Kingdom maybe 5 years ago. Maybe. Never thought anything about mermaids, a Little Mermaid or Ursula. I never thought anything about that. I thought it was just like it was a harmless thing. And when I was young, I used to draw. I had a friend that would like draw, and she taught me how to draw mermaids. Again, I didn't know that these were supposed to be real creatures and things like that. The world has become so weird. Just opening up your eyes to different things is so weird. Things that I thought were just innocent, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Starbucks symbol looks like a lady having her legs up and having a good time. Does it? I guess I never looked at it like that. Starbucks logo. Let me look. I guess I never looked at it like that. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Starbucks logo is sus. It's a siren. You should look up the first logo. It was a naked siren. They censored it after a lot of cry and backlash from the public. Really? Hold on. That's weird. Never heard of that. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find it. Starbucks logo. Okay. Oh, because she had her, y'all. And what's hilarious is now this is what everybody wants to look like when they go when they go outside, but yet they're mad at this. I mean, but that is a lot, right? To have your chest out, your breast out, just to sell some coffee. That's hilarious. But yeah, absolute. See, this picture, you can definitely tell what it is. You definitely can tell what this is. Ugh. And the thing, like, people interact with these things, I would be scared out my wits if I saw a creature like that. Be talking to you and hanging out and worshiping you. Heck no. Heck no. All the good girls go to hell. She made a song called All the Good Girls Go to Hell. I am at a loss for words. I ain't gonna lie. To be so bold. What? For the first 5 seconds, she shouts out Lucifer? I did not know this. I did not know this about Billie Eilish. She ain't my type of music. I did not know. The first logo, yes. The first logo was a siren with her boobs out. She sure was. She sure was. And heck, if that's listen, maybe that's the spirit that's in the world, maybe, or one of the spirits that's in the world, because everybody, everywhere you go. My mom told me the other day, she said that they have a dress code at Walmart now. I said, at Walmart? The place where you can do anything? You could have a knockout brawl at Walmart. Not that they want you to, but you just see any and everything at Walmart. But she said, yeah, now there's a dress code because people kept coming in there pretty much naked. I was like, my goodness. That's a shame. That's a shame, right? That's a shame. At first, they had to tell you, oh, you can't be barefoot, no shirt, no shoes. They got to tell y'all to put on clothes, not y'all. But they got to tell y'all to put on clothes. He said, yeah, in the video, she plays a fallen angel on fire. And there's people dancing in flames like they're in hell. These people really don't believe, or they believe and they're happy. Because I've seen people, they're, how they're doing these street interviews and stuff like that. They're like, well, I'd rather go to hell if there's no, they always name, and I hate to say it, but they always name, well, if gay people can't go to heaven, then I'd rather go to hell. It's like, okay, that's where you draw the line. That's why you want to go. That's why you want to go to hell. Or they're mad. It's not even just about gay things. They're mad because of the ability to repent and still go to heaven. They're absolutely livid about that. And it's like, okay, I get it, right? You think about someone doing the most atrocious things and then saying, but then they always make it seem like repentance is just, oh, I'm sorry. And then you can do it again and again and again and again. But repentance is supposed to mean a change of heart. You're supposed to turn from it and not want to do it again and not do it again. But they are absolutely upset that you can repent and still go to heaven. But but they forget. They just don't know. There's a lot of things they don't know and they refuse to learn. God looks at the heart. He looks at the spirit. So you can't just fumble things out your mouth just thinking that he's going to be like, oh yeah, okay, sure, come on in. No. They say that till their soul is burning for eternity, begging for water being made crispy like fried chicken. Yeah, they'll definitely say that till then for sure. For sure. Till it's too late. And that's the sad part about it. It's not, it's I again, I'm laughing not because they're going to go to hell. I'm laughing because of the things that I hear and see people say. I think I'm going to start doing a segment. I'm going to just kind of just work it into the video thing, or I might put it on another channel or whatever. But I want to put up what these people say and kind of just debunk it, obviously, and give information as to why it's not true. But people say the most egregious, blasphemous things. Matter of fact, I'll give you just one. I'll give you just one that I just saw. This one says, I just saw this like probably an hour or so ago. I don't want to believe in any God that doesn't have a wife. And the caption says, in honor of Mother's Day. Didn't I tell y'all? Didn't I tell y'all this rise of mother worship was coming, or that it's here and what the end game is? It seems like, oh yeah, well, that makes sense. I don't understand why or how, God can have a son, but he doesn't have a wife. I understand that there's questions, but they are literally trying to usurp the nature of God, and they are trying to put the woman in his place. And I told one person, I told one person the other day, like, you guys say so many disparaging things, right? Especially about men. And you always say, oh, well, it's about, one lady told me that, what did she say? Oh, she said that matriarchy is not about hating men, is what she told me. She says, it's not about hating men. It's about centering families and children. I said, well, that's a bold-faced lie, because the minute that you all got power or got a little bit of power, y'all started murdering all the babies in the womb. This is where y'all's leadership has brought you. This is where the little bit of power that you're being given, this is where it has brought you. So don't try to lie to me to tell me it's about family, about family and children, when y'all are killing all the children. And you're breaking up all the families. Like, tell that to somebody who don't have sense. But this is the way that they feel like they're getting the only way that they can hold the reins for whatever. I don't know why that's the hill that they want to die on, but that's the only way that they can hold the reins, is if they have what they call bodily autonomy. And it doesn't just stop at killing off the children in the womb. It doesn't stop at that. These women are really trying to convince everybody that you should want to live in a sexless marriage. I don't know if y'all have seen that. They're really advocating, oh, well, it's my body. I get it. But then you're not talking about marriage then. Because the way that God wanted marriage to be is that when man and woman come together, they become one, and then they willingly share their bodies with one another. And if you don't want to willingly share your body for whatever reason, then you talk about that and you do it for a set time. Because if you don't do it for a set time and you don't talk about why it is that you don't want to have sex with the wife or you don't want to have sex with your husband, the devil comes in and he starts tempting. And guess what happens when the devil starts tempting? Y'all know what happens when the devil starts tempting? You out there bouncing around from bed to bed to bed to bed. Then the side chicks start having babies, and the husband or the wife start leaving the marriage. They want to leave the wife. They want to leave and go to be with the mistress. Of, y'all know what happens when the devil starts tempting. Next thing you know, it's been years, and you ain't even you're like, let me stop. Let me get off this. But this is where they want it to go. I've seen it. I've watched it. See what they talk about in these comments. And they want you to think that it's empowering. And then then what's crazy is I asked the question, I was like, why would you want to get married to somebody that you don't want to be intimate with? Oh, and they started calling me all kinds of names. Oh, you're down with SA. How did I get down with SA? By asking the question, why are you getting married to people that you don't want to be intimate with? But anyway, that's where we are in the world. So anyways, I might start doing a segment just showing y'all what people are saying and why it's driving us off the deep end. The good news is if you're Catholic and have friends, they are supposedly purchase you. Y'all are clowning tonight. Y'all are clowning. But that's kind of like I was saying the other day, right? Okay, because that's supposed to be, that's definitely supposed to be the theology of purgatory. But guess what? If you don't have the friends or the family to pray for you, what are you doing? You stuck in purgatory. Just like the people, again, you practicing witchcraft, you mess around, you get yourself trapped in a glass. And what if you don't have a believer on your side to be praying for you? That lady said she was stuck in hell for serving the devil. Her body was up on earth, obviously, and her spirit was down in hell serving Satan when she got trapped in that glass. This is her testimony. I know it sounds crazy. This is her testimony. Go look it up, Erica Mukisa. And again, the only way she got free was because she actually had Christian parents, but they didn't know that her mother had initiated her into witchcraft when they would take her and her brother over to the grandma's. You know how families do. You go to your grandma's house. They had no idea that when she was there, she was being initiated by her grandma and her aunties into witchcraft. Then she mess around and wants to go see some musician come to town. He comes to town in a limo. She looks into his limo and he ends up, because he's a warlock, trapping her in a glass. Her parents don't even know. Her body's up here. Her spirit's down there. And what would have happened if she didn't have a Christian father or Christian uncles? Who knows how long she would have been trapped if she ever would have got free. So yeah, I mean, that's a scary thought, to be honest. That's a scary thought. You said, and guys think that getting burnt is the worst feeling in the world. Hell is much worse. Also, the over worship of feminine principle is too much. It's offsetting the balance of natural order. It is. And again, this is not to say that women are not important, They are not necessary. And it's not to say that God does not think highly, because I think people get that twisted as well. Just because the man is the head does not mean that the woman is insignificant. And I think people need to read the word more, because there was a lot of women in the Bible that were very important. There were prophetesses who were women. There were judges who were women. The first people at the tomb when Jesus was resurrected were women. They were, again, we are made to be helpmeets. Like, we do a lot of things. Proverbs 31 talks about a lot of things that the woman's doing. She's up early. She's taking care of her household. Her husband never wants for anything. He has no need of spoil. She's buying flax and making things with her hands. She's buying fields, and she's selling things to merchants. She's doing a lot of things. But at the same time, we are the weaker vessel. So man is up, he's out front. And again, if the order is correct, with God being the head of man, and then the man being the head of the wife, then you should not be worried about anything, because the man's head is God. If the man's head is God, you shouldn't be worried about anything. Because he is going to be loving you like Jesus loved the church. He is going to be nurturing you and caring for you as though you are the weaker vessel, knowing that you are the weaker vessel. But for some strange reason, we are turned all upside down, just thinking that, and I'm so sick, y'all. I'm so sick of hearing the word patriarchy. I'm so sick of it. And I didn't, Mr. Davis, I did not even see your comment, and nothing against your comment. But I think y'all know what I mean. Just the whole blaming. It's just like, it's just getting annoying. Matriarchal, patriarchy, and democratic republics. See what I did there, right? Yeah. That's what it's becoming, for sure. That's what it's becoming. And then we're wondering why, men are soft and this and that. And it's like, because we are all backwards. 60 to 70 million babies a year deleted. That's more than the population of a lot of countries. It's definitely it's disgusting. It is disgusting. Abolition Rising is a great channel. Russell, he does a really good job of going on campuses, or even going, he could be out by the bar or whatever, just talking to people, just getting their minds to really think about what it is they're saying. This whole argument, it's a clump of cells and this and that, is like, or, I've heard, it's a parasite. Like, what? And a lot of it is coming, they're not learning it. They're not even learning this kind of stuff at home, for sure. They're learning it at school. They're being taught this at school. And that's another thing. We really got to be paying attention to who these teachers are, what their ideologies are. I don't think we had to worry about that back in the day too much, but definitely today. Be involved. Know what these teachers are teaching in class. Because next thing you know, your child come out all confused. The devil would be like, come to the dark side. We have cookies, and they'll go right along. They'll be like, chocolate chip or sugar cookies. Which one do you have? They don't. But it's anything to not be. I saw this. I don't even want to call him a pastor, because I doubt that he's, he probably calls himself a pastor. But he was getting on people for wanting to be too holy, he said. And he said, no, this was somebody in the comments, my bad. This was somebody in the comments saying that. And they were like, yeah, he was talking to somebody. And he was like, yeah, you trying to be righteous, destroying yourself. I said, how do you destroy yourself from being too righteous? When did that become a thing? And so they don't want you to want to do the right thing. You know? And I get it. We're never going to be absolutely perfect, but why are you mad at people because they want to be? But then you get upset. When there's murder and thieving and all that kind of stuff. Then you get upset when there's things like that. But yet when you're telling people not to do those things, encouraging people to turn the other way, it's just hypocrisy. They don't know what they want. But again, they're mad at you because you are grounded in what you feel is the truth. They embrace the unknown. They make it seem like, oh, you can never have the answer to anything. And then they get upset at you because you feel like you do have the answer. It's just a lot. We're going to have to unpack a lot. Y'all. It kind of just makes your head hurt. You know what I mean? Just thinking about all the foolishness. People don't take that commitment serious today. Divorce has almost no social shame attached. I've met people who have been married 3-4 times. Goodness. Like, I can't even think of 3 or 4 people that I liked, let alone liked enough or loved enough to marry. And no shade to anybody who's been married 3-4 times. I'm just talking about me. I don't know. I don't like people like that. But they always bring it to, oh, well, y'all just want people to be in an abusive marriage. No, nobody said that. Y'all always take it to the extreme. Nobody's saying that. We're just saying that you're forgetting that marriage is supposed to be a lifelong covenant. It is. It's supposed to be. But remember what God told Moses. He's like, the only reason why I'm allowing you to allow them to give their spouses the bill of divorcement is because they have hard hearts. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been like that. They always come out of left field with accusations because they don't have an argument they can give. Exactly. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure you guys see it, but for some strange reason, my timeline is full of it. It's just all day long. It's just blasphemy all day long. I'm like, well, how did I end up on this side of the algorithm? Maybe because I've commented, rebuttaling some things, but now it's just filled with it. So I'm going to have to make an example out of folk. Catholics are modern day pagans. The early church admits in detail they took a ton of pagan rites and rituals to make more people likely to convert. Yeah. Not only that, but a lot of, for some strange reason, people believe that Christianity came about because it forced people into Christianity. It's like, what? Who was Jesus forcing by the sword to worship him, or even any of his disciples? Where did that happen? And the only thing that I can think of is they're thinking about Catholicism and the Inquisitions and stuff, and the wars with the Muslims, because those are the only ones that would have started a war in order to get people to believe. Because the show wasn't, we saw what Jesus was doing. Matter of fact, he did not even want us to have to pick up a sword. He speaks against war and stuff like that. He said, I'm soft as cotton. Yeah, definitely soft as cotton. Cotton. Way too emotional. Way too emotional. Just the violence that's being committed because people are way too emotional. A lot of universities have been compromised. They brainwash people. One of my friends said, I sent my beautiful brunette daughter off to college and she came home a blue-haired crybaby. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you definitely got to be careful where you go. I guess I'm just in my mind, just Morehouse just keeps kind of just dancing in my head right now because you're thinking about your children going to like strong schools or whatever, and regardless of where you decide you want to go, Ivy League or whatever, a mixed school or HBCU or whatever. I'm just thinking, dang, I know that they didn't think that in 2026 that's where they would be. Or maybe they did. But everybody's trying to push the effeminate agenda and the gender ideologies and things like that. I actually saw a really good clip the other day. Whose channel was that? I can't remember how he words his channel name, but he was showing this teacher and she was introducing herself as a they them, but she was like, yeah, my pronouns are zer, zers, zer, just a whole bunch of zers. And the children were asking a lot of good questions. They pretty much had a lot of pushback. Like, why are you telling us this? Did the principal tell you to teach us this? Does he know that you're teaching us this? A lot of them were like, listen, my parents would not be happy if I went home and told them, because she was like, yeah, call me. I don't remember what the girl's name was. What was her name? Whatever her name was. She just wanted to be called teacher and then whatever her name was. And they were like, well, can't we call you like Mr. or Miss? And she was like, no, that would be disrespectful. They were like, well, can we say Mr. or Miss behind your back? She was like, no, that would be disrespectful. And the kids were like, yeah, I can't go home and tell my mom that you're not a Mr. or Miss and all this other stuff. They would be really upset that, this is what we would be talking about in class. So yeah, it was really good to see the kids pushing back, because a lot of times you see them just kind of just taking it in. But these kids were like, nah, I'm good on that. You said, I will throw shade. I will throw shade at people who have been married 3-4 times. It's not normal or ideal. No, I just don't really, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I think I would have to sit down and kind of just reflect for a while. Like, wait, what happened? Why did it happen? How do I keep it from happening? But, that's how it goes. This may be off topic, but I heard through the grapevine that homosexual couples are the new what? They're the new power couples. I know a female who is a school principal and is working on her second child with her wife. I wouldn't be surprised, because right now, even though they have been talking for years about homophobia, it's really heterophobia. Did y'all see? I don't watch this man, but every now and then his big mouth comes on my timeline. But Funky Dineva, I guess he used to be like a cross-dresser or whatever, but now he's taken off the wig. He used to have like a wig and blue lipstick, if I'm not mistaken. Something crazy, something foolish. Anyway, he fixed his mouth to say that straight men were the cancer of the Black community. And there were people, lots and lots and lots of people who were agreeing with him. So they've flipped it from them being the abomination to heterosexual people, the ones that actually fit together physically, spiritually. They have flipped it to where heterosexual couples are the weird ones. Like, that's supposed to be the minority now. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. But guess what? In the days of Lot, so it will be when the Son of Man returns. In the days of Lot was when Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed and its surrounding cities. So it's really not surprising. My mom works for a Christian adoption agency that refuses to adopt out kids to homosexuals. They have been sued twice. I'm sorry to hear that they've been sued. It just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. It's bad enough already that kids are given up, by their biological families. That's hard enough. But then to be put in a situation where you don't have the feminine aspect or you don't have the masculine aspect to learn from, you're seeing just this. First of all, I don't like to see anybody kissing. I don't care who it is. I do not like to see anybody kissing. But let alone if you got to be a child and you're just watching what should be two brothers, kissing on each other, or two sisters, kissing on. I saw that Victoria, and I didn't watch it because it's whatever to me, but she was talking about Victoria Monet, the singer, how it's harder to date women than it is to date men. She said the women be doing her dirty. And in my mind, every time I see like the video or whatever pop up, I'm like, you shouldn't be dating her anyway. That should be like your home. That should be your sister, your homegirl. I had a manager at one of the last companies that I worked for, and nice guy, super, super nice guy. I don't have anything bad to say about him as a person, but oh man, he had like a little get together for our team at his house one night. And when I went there, I found out that this man was in a throuple. He was married to one guy, not quote unquote married to one guy, but his boyfriend was also living there. Then he had a little girl. I don't know how I never asked him how the little girl came into the situation. I didn't know if it was his biological daughter or what. But I was just like, man, this girl is. How do you even begin to explain that to yourself, let alone anybody else? Population reduction, population tailoring, population control, and possibly lead to transhumanism. Yeah. 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 Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to take that off. All of that. And I think that's where I think people forget that aspect as well. Like there are just some things in this life that do not lead to life continuing. some things actually lead to death. Some actions that you do will just absolutely wipe out the rest of your lineage. The line stops with you, basically. And unfortunately, that's one of the things. That's one of the things. I seen that gender neutral teacher, she better. Y'all are so funny. He said she better zero her ass on somewhere. Real talk. No, for real. For real. All right. I'm just very, very glad that I did not have to experience that. I did not have to experience that. And even back up to the conversation we were talking about earlier, when I remember biology class in college, and my teacher, there was, you know how classrooms are, professors. She was walking up the steps. She was handing everybody a piece of paper. I looked at it. It was a baby. Well, one of the pictures was a baby, literally, like you could just see the limbs just getting, limbs placed out everywhere. She was showing us pictures of abortion. And then one picture she showed us was the forceps being shoved in to the womb, and the baby was grabbing onto the forceps before it struck him in the head. And I was like, man, now that we're in this time that we're in, I always think about her. I'm like, man, what made her actually, and she was subtle about it. She wasn't like, oh, you got to believe in this or that and that. She just handed out the papers. This is what this is. And I wish these people had a teacher like her, because they really, for some strange reason, they don't know what a pregnancy is. I'm not going to get back on this, but how do you not know what a pregnancy is and what it means and what's going to happen at the end of it? How do we get this? Not we. How'd y'all get this dumb? I'm sorry to say, but how'd y'all get this dumb? I went to UT. My political science teacher told me she would break me by the end of the semester. The cards weren't in her favor. I don't think she'll ever forget me. Oh my. Why would she say something like that? That's crazy to say. That's crazy to say to somebody. And what was her? I just have a lot of questions. You said that sounds gay. Yeah, absolutely gay. That Dineva is crazy. It really. But again, you got people that sit around and listen to him and believe what he says. He talks about men, but wants a relationship with a man. Yeah, exactly. Just pandering. Just pandering. I grew up in a time where it was gay to be gay. Pre-2000s, I miss the old ways. Yeah, but we're in a time where you can't, we're supposed to speak the truth in love. Again, I'm never advocating for mistreating anybody or harming anybody, but if we do not, and this is for any type of sin, right? This goes for everything. If we don't speak the truth in love, and give people information on what God says about it or whatever, we're not helping anybody. See, these people, because Kev on stage got a lot of backlash, and I don't know if I talked about this, so I won't touch on it too long, but he got a lot of backlash not too long ago because he was saying that he chooses to love the gays, and if he got to the gates of heaven and the Lord asked him what was up with that, he was just going to be like, I don't know, man, I just thought that I would go with love, as if, number one, as if God is not love, right? But as if it was so many things I didn't like about what he said, but anyway. The comment section was full of like, yeah. But all what we're doing is just affirming people into hell. And I don't know why they don't do this about any other sin. They don't do this about murderers. They don't do this about anybody else. But for some strange reason, again, this gay stuff is what they want to die on, the hill they want to die on. I support the rooftop policy for homosexuals. Oh, no. Oh, no. Something sus is going on in the community. A lot of Black women talk about catching their men with other men. I don't know how they can't tell before dude down low people don't hide things well. There's signs. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. But again, you know what I think it is also? That they're trying to find men who are they want men to be like women. They want them to think the same way. They don't want them to have the same feelings and, you know, this and that, right? And then when they end up finding that type of guy, he ends up really being effeminate. And so they trap themselves with that whole toxic masculinity type of talk. It's like, no, you want them to be masculine, don't you? Oh, you don't want them to be? Okay. Well, then you get what you're asking for. But yeah, I'm hearing that a lot. It's kind of scary. Agreed. Out. Keep that gay shit to themselves under the cover. Yeah. Bring back social shame, Dan Patrick. There's too many gays today. It's just so, but again, this is where we are in the timeline. She hated me. I challenged her all the stupid views in her comments. Oh, okay. I can understand that. He said, these people are delusional. I saw a video of a preacher saying God was trans. I feel like I know exactly who you're talking about. And these blasphemers gonna catch it. You know, they're gonna catch the wrath, and you know, you really can't do anything but, because again, if you're gonna sit there in a congregation while the preacher is saying those type of things and that's what he's teaching, you know, I hate to say it, but you get what's coming as well. How do you not read the word for yourself? Or how do you not read the word and comprehend what it's saying? Especially on that topic, because it's very, very plain. It's very plain. It's their real talk. Yeah. But y'all, listen, I don't want to hold you too long. I know it's 10 o'clock. But I had a great conversation. I'm glad that we got to visit again with the fiasco that happened. And I'm glad that y'all stayed because I had restarted my whole computer. And when I came back, y'all were still here. So I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate the conversation as always. He said the word is very clear. It's abomination. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what people don't understand. But I really do, again, I do want to start like a little segment where I'm just hopefully debunking these kind of things. I know a lot of people ask questions, so I might do a thing where I'm just answering questions that I've seen online. So I'll find a way to work that in. But let's see what I got coming. I have CPS coming. I don't know what it's titled just yet, but it's going to be about CPS coming. I have like a little bitty short video on Noah's Ark because I found some really good information. I guess kind of one of those videos where I'm answering questions because people are like, oh, how in the heck can all those animals fit on the ark? And, you know, how could it survive the flood or whatever? So I did find some information on that. So I've got that coming. What else do I have coming? Quite a few videos. Quite a few. Oh, the letter J. I'm excited to do that. The letter J. The healing effect of tears. Did you guys know that they found some science about how tears actually do heal? Yeah. So you know how the Bible says weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. We got some science to put to that. Yeah, so quite a few things, y'all. Exodus, we got to break that down. The book of Job. Again, red balloon symbolism is still on my list. Peter Pan, the Pied Piper, Project Soul Catcher, Basquiat, the Demon Painter. So I got quite a few stuff I'm working on. So stay tuned, stay tuned. No disrespect, but I'm not a religious person, but I read the Bible and realize that it has truths in it. These people are trying to justify their sins by not obeying the scriptures. Absolutely, absolutely. But you know, it's all about learning. Some people do seek truth, and some people just I would just say they're scared of it. Some people are scared of truth. Because yeah, it would mean that you have to change your ways sometimes. You know what I mean? But other than that, y'all, I had a great time. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Again, stay tuned for stuff that are coming out. Thank you so much for your likes, your comments, your shares. Thank you for supporting the Patreon, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys soon. All right now. Bye.